We're going to go back to something I talked about this morning, which is the law of attraction, law of action attraction, not law of attraction, because you have to have the action in there. And so we've done a lot of heavy lifting this weekend with our brains, a lot of heavy mental lifting, and now I want you to think, okay, I have really gotten clear on my values and my vision. And now I want you to figure out what's the number one thing that you want to attract into your life through the action that you're going to take. Whether it's money, love, stronger relationships, greater leadership, freedom, whatever it is, new opportunity, we're going to go through that in the next exercise. So I call it creating the custom Kaizen formula for your perfect life. And remember what Kaizen means. It means constant and never-ending improvement. And anybody here in this room is devoted to that. I mean, that's why you're here. That's really the great thing about you. It's one of the characteristics that can allow you to be successful for the rest of your life. And so we're going to actually create your own law of action attraction plan. So just to give you a little recap of my real life law of action attraction story. Is Jeff in the middle there? So in 2006, I hired my first business coach, Tom. And remember, the very first question on the very first call, Tom said to me, what do you want your business to look like in 5 years from now? And I bet you he was probably surprised with the clarity that I responded. I said, I want to have a business like Early to Rise. He knew what it was, very successful online newsletter that helped people build their wealth and improve their health. He said, yeah, Craig, I know exactly what that is. But if you want to do that, you've got to improve in a lot of areas. You've got to improve your ability to write, because it's a newsletter that has great content in it. You need to improve your ability to become a great coach, a great speaker. And Craig, you know what? You need to go out there and actually meet a whole lot of people. And I know that's not in your comfort zone, but you have to go and do that. And so we put together a little plan for me to go and do that, and I joined another mastermind group the next year with Yannick Silver, and he put together some really big goals for me, and I started chasing those. And it was through the action of becoming a better speaker, a better writer, improving all the time, my constant Kaizen formula for my life, that I was able to then go and attract that opportunity to come to me. But there's more to the story. So in 2010, I was on a trip into Arizona. I was actually in Tucson, Arizona. We went out to this place in the middle of the desert called Safe House. And at Safe House, they let you shoot guns and drive cars, sometimes at the same time. It was really awesome. So I was there with Matt Smith, Yannick Silver, Tim Ferriss was the guest on that trip. It was really cool. And on the way back, we were in the Tucson airport, and I said to Matt asked me, Matt, my business partner now, he said, what do you want to do with the fitness business that you're running? And I said, well, I still would love to have something like Early to Rise. And he knew what it was. He was a longtime fan as well. And I think there's a big lesson that's kind of hidden in there that most people miss. And it's me being willing to tell people, positive people, about my dreams. Now, if I would have kept those dreams inside of me, I wouldn't have ended up with the ultimate outcome. Because Matt was the guy, 6 months later, he went to a financial newsletter event, and he was there with the owner of Early to Rise, and I imagine they were at some coffee station or something having a conversation, and Mark, the guy who owned Early to Rise, said to Matt, I'm ready to sell the business and move on to something else. I've said everything I could say. And Matt immediately texted me and said, Craig, I remember you saying back in Arizona that you wanted to own this business or a business like it. Are you still interested? And I said, yeah. And so we flew down to Florida, and we met Mark, the owner of it, and we negotiated this deal at his favorite cigar bar in Delray Beach, Florida. And then that's when I bought the business. It was 5 years, 3 months, and 17 days after I said to my first coach, here's what I want my business to look like in 5 years from now. So I was 3 months and 17 days late, but don't hold that against me, okay? I still did the work. I took the actions, and it was the action that attracted the opportunity to me. So remember what I said to Tom, I want to have a business like Early to Rise. I actually bought the exact business of my dreams because I did the work. And that is how powerful it is when you have your vision and you go and take the actions. Remember yesterday I talked about the Disney World analogy. At some point in your life, you're going to go to Disney World. You're either going to go as a kid, you're going to go as a parent. And it's a dream destination for most people. And it's so simple to get to. It's so simple to get to your dream destination. You fly to Orlando, you get in a rental car, and you drive there. And really, it's the same in life to get your dream destination. Whether it's your dream business, your dream family, your dream home, it's very, very simple. It's a straight line to success. Once you know exactly where you want to get to, you know exactly what you have to do to get there. And more importantly, you're able to say no to all the detours, right? If I want to go this way and somebody says, hey, come on up here, I can say, no, that's not going to work for me. That's a detour from my life. It's a detour from my dream destination. So the vision keeps you on track. And it helps show you the actions you need to take to attract everything into your life. So what is the number one thing that I want to attract into my life, into my business and personal, professional life right now? It's 100 clients into my work-life mastery coaching program. I want you to put a deadline on this. What is your deadline for this? Mine is December 5th, 2018, so I have a busy year for this. Who do I need to contact for help? Well, I'm already going to Bedros for my sales help. I need to go to Tucker for help with Book in a Box, because if I get my second book out there, and my first book has led to this, imagine what my second book is going to lead to. That's going to help people with a bigger problem. That's going to help a bigger number of people. So I'm going to go to him. I'm going to go to my friend Joe Polish, who is the most connected man in the world. Bedros mentioned that yet last week we spoke at Joe's event. We were on stage with Tony Robbins, with Mark Zuckerberg's sister. She invented Facebook Live. She's the one that you can either thank or blame, you know? She's the one that came up with that idea. So he knows everyone. And so I'm going to go to him, and Joe's actually one of my one-on-one coaching clients. He was actually the first person to go through my Perfect Life Workshop program. And he always refers me new clients. And then I need to go to my friend Matt Smith, my business partner Matt Smith, because he is the best at business strategy. So I know who I need to go to, my mentors, my coaches, to get what I want, because they're going to teach me how to improve, constant and never-ending improvement, so that I become the best version of myself, take the actions, and attract the opportunity. That's exactly what Lewis is doing. I mean, I loved his story about how he's going out there doing these shows, giving great information, attracting all these great people into his life that are therefore then he's helping them and he's attracting more people into his life. It's a virtuous circle, not a vicious cycle. It's a virtuous circle. And it's so important. When you go and you take action, you attract opportunity. Who do I need to tell? Remember, I told Matt, I told my business coach about what I wanted to accomplish specifically. I told positive people. And if I didn't tell positive people, if I didn't tell Matt about my dream, and he had that conversation with the guy who wanted to sell early rise, he never would have told him. I never would have known, because Matt wouldn't have told me. He wouldn't have known that I wanted it. So you can't hold all of your goals and dreams inside. Yeah, you don't want to tell them to negative people, but you want to make sure you tell them to positive people. Because here's the great thing about positive people. If you tell a positive person that you want help with something or you want to achieve something, it's almost like a little bug gets stuck in their brain that they can't help but start thinking about how they can help you. And they start going out of their way to help you. And it's not even that you're asking them for help. You just say, hey, I'd like to do this. And the next thing you know, 3 days later, they send you an email. Hey, I know a guy that can help you with this. You didn't even ask them for help, but that's because they're a positive person. So I want you to write down, who do you need to tell to attract the opportunity? So I need to tell you guys, I need to tell my fans through video, and other high performers through my speaking and my books and through traditional media as well. And when I do all of these things, I'm going to start to attract the people that I want to work with. It's so very clear to me because I know exactly what matters to me, the values, vision, value. And it's very simple. When you follow, it's a formula. It is a formula. A lot of this stuff is formulaic. There has to be a lot of belief behind it, as Carrie said, but then you can put the behaviors into place. Now, let's also be brutally honest. What skills do you need to build in order to attract these opportunities? Because if Lewis was not a good interviewer, he would not be attracting a lot of people into his life. He wouldn't have the 63rd greatest podcast in the world if he wasn't a good interviewer, if he didn't build those skills. But I know a lot of people that listen to him and say, you know what, he's way better than other so-and-so famous podcaster because he goes deeper. He asks questions that other people won't ask. And that's because he's built his skills up. And I didn't get to own Early to Rise because I was a crappy writer and a bad speaker. I was only able to own Early to Rise because I built my skills there. So you have to be brutally honest here. If you want to attract great opportunity into your life, what skills do you need to improve? So I need to improve in speaking. I'm still not as good as Sean Stevenson. I'm still not as good as Bedros Keuilian. I'm still not as good as Carrie, but I can get better. And that's why I say there is a positive way to compare yourself to other people. Because I learned a lot from Carrie about how she interacted with the audience. I learned a lot from Lewis about how he went into the audience. There's a lot to learn when you kind of compare yourself to others, so it's okay that way. Where do you need to get better every day? So maybe you need to get better at your video skills. Maybe you need to get better at writing. I need to get better here, up here, in my big self, in being my best self, and putting that success mindset into place. So I need to work hard at that. What is one thing I need to do that scares me? This has been another one of my themes this year, is to lean into rejection every day, as high performers do. They're not scared of no's. They're like, Matt Del Negro says 10,000 no's. He's not scared of those no's. He knows those no's have to come in order to get the yes. So I'm leaning into getting more no's. What do I need to stop doing? I need to stop hiding behind the computer, creating that prison of work that I let myself get into for too long. And I need to stop underestimating myself. I know if I do the work, I can accomplish almost anything. I did the work in the presentation that I did with you guys this morning. I did a sales presentation to you guys. And I was so grateful to hear Bedros and Josh. They were like, that was a good sales presentation. I've seen a lot of sales presentations, and that was good. Now, I actually screwed up on a couple of things, but I'm pretty proud of what I did. And I'm being brutally honest with you. I tried to sell you something today, and I'm no regrets about it because I know it's right for so many of you. But I want to share with you, a year ago, I wouldn't say terrified of it, but I would have not done the work. I would have pulled my punches, but I practiced that baby, man, over and over again. I sent my first video to Bedros, practice of it, in early October, and I practiced it twice as many times since then. And one of the things he taught me was go slower. And I was pretty happy with how slow I went when I did that. So I'm just telling you, I'm just being brutally honest with you guys as to one thing that I improved on. Because I was my little self in sales presentations before. And I was pretty happy with me and having my big self come through in that today. So I can tell you one thing, that if I can get better at that, you can get better at anything that you want to improve on through this system. Making sure that you get the right people to show you what you're doing and getting the right people to support you. Being around the right people. Having their success rub off on you. Finally, what is your first step to take right now? Mine is to follow up and give. All this weekend I've been giving you guys the tools that you need. Tools that you need. You can take these tools home. And when you go home, I'm going to send you an email with videos of walking through each one of those tools again. So if you think, man, that was tough going through it the first time, now you'll have a video, you'll have the PDF of the worksheets, you can go through it again and again and again. Because that's just me giving you what you need, what you guys need. Remember, we did first draft this weekend. You're going to do second draft. You might do it over the holidays, you might do second draft next weekend, whenever you want, but you need to do a second draft of this. Then you need to do a third draft. You need to do a fourth draft. You need to keep on going until you've refined it, until you're able to get that vision and clarity that you need in order to attract everything into your life. And I know it works because look who I had on stage today and yesterday. Carrie, Bedros, and Lewis. Yes, they admit that they still have some flaws and they're not perfect, but they're as close to having it all as anybody I know. And Bedros and Carrie have done, a lot of work with me. Carrie's done a workshop. Bedros has done a workshop. Bedros has spent, 7 or 8 years having 3 meals a day with me, probably 6 weeks of the year. That much time where he's been able to absorb it because it works. So now you're going to go and fill this out. This is one of my favorite worksheets. That's why I saved it to last, because it's a summary of everything we have done over the last 2 days. So I want you to be real clear. Whether it's personal or professional, what is the number one thing you want to attract into your life? Be crystal clear, specific. Put a deadline on it, because without a deadline, nothing gets done. And when you put that deadline, cross it out, cut it in half. Push yourself. Figure out who you need to contact for help. So there's a difference between help and just telling positive people. Contacting for help is like your professional accountability, the person who's going to give you expert advice. And the next people, the people you just need to tell to attract the opportunity, are positive social support. Then figure out the skills you need to build, where you need to get better every day, one thing that you need to do that's way outside of your comfort zone, and then let's talk about what you need to stop doing, and then the very first step that you can take right now to moving ahead.